So now I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on what happened with this sports card Dallas card show heist, air quotes heist. First things first, I'm not blaming the victim. It just sucks to have anything stolen from you. I can't even imagine having something that valuable taken. Whether it was $1,000 worth of cards or $10 million worth of cards, like it just sucks having things taken from you. Now, lots of opinions on the internet, and we know what opinions are, especially when it comes to the internet. Anytime I have an opinion, there seems to be at least one person, if not two or three, who like to come out and tell me that my opinion is wrong. So I appreciate that. Thank you for that. It does actually give me some motivation to keep putting my opinion out there. So that said, there is a video floating around. I'm not going to play it. Like, there's 13 million YouTubers right now that are out there playing that video, blah, 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 whatever. Showing off what happened. But basically, Dallas Card Show, some guy had a table. Here, he's a great guy. I've never had an interaction with him. Ash, I believe is his name, had a table, and it was freaking phenomenal. The amount of cards that he has and the collectibles that he has, he's got freaking cards I can only even dream of, like Mickey Mantle, 52 mantles, blah, 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 all of this wild and crazy stuff. And three guys working for him as they were tearing down, it looks like. I believe somebody said that Ash was actually putting stuff away in his car when this happened. And if you've ever been to a card show, basically you set up, you got this big, huge table of stuff, do your thing, sell your cards. At the end of it, you got to break it down. It's like being a musician, right? You got to pick up and put down all your own stuff. So Ash is at the car. Three people are manning his booth, kind of putting stuff away. And there are a few people there strategically running interference and hiding and distracting the three employees, while one guy who has been pretending to be an employee putting away chairs for allegedly an hour comes in and just walks in and grabs this case. And it's a small case. You know, collectible cards don't take up much room, but a small case of cards that has tons of amazing freaking mantles, errands, like just a wild, wild, wild assortment of really, really, really cool cards. I think I saw a picture. One of the mantles was like $175,000 card. I'm just like, oh. I mean, that's what he was asking, obviously. So that's another part of the equation, right? Like, what's that actually worth when it comes to insurance? What's that worth to the people who are going to try to sell those on the black market? Question for people, for insurance appraisers and people who play on the black market, and which I'm neither of those. So I'm not going to speculate too much on what those things will fetch or be worth at any point in time. Basically, three guys working at the table, breaking stuff down. The owner out in the garage or wherever, parking lot, putting his cards away, packing stuff up. Three guys distracting the three guys, and then a fourth guy pretending to be an employee comes in and just grabs this box of cards and absconds off with a couple $1 million in, well, maybe a couple $1 million in values of sports cards. That happened over the weekend. Not sure the exact date or time, anything else like that. Again, there's plenty of YouTubers out there who are much better than me talking about that stuff. Sports card hobby has a lot of folks in it doing cool stuff. It's pretty nice. The community there is, for the most part, pretty freaking phenomenal. Yeah, I should dig that out. So, number one, anytime something like that happens, one of the first things you do is, oh shoot, how did that happen? And there's a lot of people like myself who are like, wow, how do you just leave $2 million worth of cards, potentially $2 million worth of cards sitting in the middle of a room? Yeah, you've got your employees there, but like, from what I could tell, the employees look like they were maybe younger kids. There's absolutely no freaking way on the planet I got, even if it's an older kid, unless it's a ninja or somebody that's carrying a pistol, I don't think I could leave my cards of any value, of any real value, sitting there, just that it's not my responsibility, right? At the end of the day, they're my cards. It's my responsibility. And my thought, and the thoughts of others, is this guy, there were things that he could have done to better protect the cards that he had. Now, you get a whole group then, and Hobby X and just the hobby in general has different groups and types of people. I'm sure there's a label for me. Insufferable. Some people Some people call me insufferable. At least one person called me insufferable today for my opinions, which I think is phenomenal. And I appreciate the attention because that's what I'm here for on social media, is that attention. But, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have broken that one. But you look at it and yes, why did the guy not have an air tag? Why did the guy not have hired security? Why did the guy not take that and that be the first thing that he put in his car? Like, those questions are legitimate questions for all of us to ask. And you've got a little bit of the hobby bros, for lack of a better way to say it, who are defending Ash, and I don't think they really need to defend him. I mean, dude's just, if they really want to help him out, send him some cards. The people who are asking, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Aren't necessarily victim blaming, which is what they've been saying people are doing. It's just silly, because victim blaming, if you actually look up the real definition of victim blaming, is completely different than what's going on in this instance. It's just one of the things humans do to try to rationalize, like, what in the world, what that happened, how did that happen? It's us trying to figure it out. So it definitely sucks. I hope they get caught. But I do have to make one other statement, and then I'll wrap up. There are people, and I'm not going to name them, who have called this thing an elaborate heist. Somebody on social media even made the comparison to Ocean's 11. And if you watch the video, it's 3 guys standing around running interference, while one person dressed, just basically a t-shirt of an employee, putting chairs away, comes in and walks by and grabs it. Now, yes, there are videos of those people kind of staking things out earlier in the day, hanging out, coming by, changing clothes, yada yada, casing the joint, as the kids call it. And like to call that a heist, or to compare that to Ocean's 11, or to think like this was some mastermind project, I think is a little silly. Like, these were teenagers, maybe or maybe not, but the teenager mentality of going and being able to steal something. Like, it wasn't like they cut off the lights or tripped the alarms or replaced camera footage or hung from the ceiling and dropped down and grabbed it. So let's not overblow the fact that this is just some criminals doing some criminal stuff, and not necessarily Matt Damon and Brad Pitt and George Clooney getting together, and Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. getting together to take down a casino. It definitely was not that. Feel bad for the owner, feel bad for the employees, everybody who's kind of involved, the card show owners, everybody has to feel like crap that this happened. Nobody likes this. Theft is not good for anything, especially for the hobby. I hope it gets resolved in a timely manner. There's some people who think like they're going to be found out quickly and easily. There's some people like, oh, you can't even sell those cards. I'm going to tell you this, man. If I did that, if I took those cards, this is how I would handle it after the fact. I would go ahead and wait as long as I possibly could to do anything with them. And from the looks of those kids, or the people that did it, they were definitely younger. I don't want to call them kids because I don't think that's fair. The people that pulled this thing off, they looked like they were maybe, how old would you say they were? 20s, 30s, somewhere in there, right? Give or take. If they're smart, some criminals are smart, some criminals aren't. They are going to play the long game on this. They will wait 20 years till they sell that last card. They will crack those slabs. They will mark up those cards a little bit slightly, and they're all older cards, so a little bit, and not 10, so a little bit of damage on them might not matter too much. Although it would be interesting, and this is another great conversation to have. Does PSA take super high resolution scans like TAG does to be able to see? That's not going to work, is it? For somebody to actually be able to go in and see what those cards really, really, really look like. With my tag slabs and everything I get from TAG, like, I can go in and drill in and see every freaking defect. It's pretty freaking dope, right? I'm not sure that you can do that with PSA slabs, because those cards, technically, if you think about like the dimensions and the imperfections, everything, those cards are basically fingerprinted. So for the sellers, it potentially could be fingerprinted. So for the sellers to really make off and be able to sell those later on, they're going to have to change potentially may have to change the appearance of those if PSA, and I don't know if there are any other slabs in there, do have those high resolution pictures. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Sucks for Ash, sucks for the card community. Great for X and YouTubers who are trying to talk about it, like myself. And at the end of the day, man, just be good to each other, even if somebody has a different opinion than you.